Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
What is going on, guys, and how y'all doing tonight? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and it's a big night. Get a drink in there real quickly here, but that's why, right? It's a big night tonight, because tonight, this is going to be a little awkward, because I'll definitely fix this, but tonight, we are here, live! For my live preview and predictions of WrestleMania 40 for both nights taking place this coming weekend. April 6th and 7th, 2024. And it'll be taking place just 5 or 6 hours down the turnpike from me at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I know probably about a year ago, I was considering going to this WrestleMania, which, won't lie, would have been awesome. Unfortunately, though, again, just didn't pan out that way. Maybe someday again, I will go back to WrestleMania. And I do hope to go to another WrestleMania again someday as well. And then, we'll go from there. But anyways, that's all right here. So, originally, this was not supposed to happen tonight. This was not supposed to happen. Because Tuesday nights are my nights I go out. I know we play trivia. Unfortunately, they were calling for some bad storms in my area tonight. So, because, of course, I live about 50 minutes away from where I go to play, and other sort of things, I, basically felt forced to stay back. Unfortunately, right now, the weatherman is going to be put on the list of Jericho, because so far, these bad storms are not happening. Knock on wood. But, so that's why I'm not happy about that. Because I want to go out. I like my nights out. My Tuesday nights out. I go play trivia. But, of course, it is not going to be the case here. As instead, I thought, well, tonight will be the night that I do my live WrestleMania 40 preview and predictions. As, of course, last night on Raw, we officially got, well, not the correct order, of course, but we did get announced which matches were going to be on which night. And there are 13 matches on this card. 13 matches, 7 on night 1, 6 on night 2. And also, before we get started, this is kind of like the new idea for the new setup for pay-per-view graphic preview and predictions. Of course, the background won't always be the same as I have it right there. I did consider for a while bringing back the green screen for this. It's been probably like a year since I used the green screen. But again, when I completely forgot about it, and when I was tweaking the graphics really quick before I did this, which I probably should have made another change, this logo right down here, I thought that it would be, I thought it would interfere with, being up top behind everybody, it would just be blocked off, but apparently I was wrong, because it's not too great where it is right now. It's kind of blocking me off, so I gotta kind of maneuver around it and whatnot, but it's all good. But I do like that you'll be seeing what I have right above me. Well, I won't be below the graphics in my other backgrounds. Those, of course, you'll see those on for Raw and SmackDown, of course, as well. The new intro, again, is done, and the new outro. But again, I will not be revealing that until my WrestleMania review this coming, probably like Monday or so next week maybe. But that's when the new intro will be revealed. I did post on Twitter and Instagram, though, a sneak peek, though, of my new logo, which is pretty much the same except a different background, pretty much. And the text that says the Club of the Man 93 is different. But, of course, there will be some motion, of course, more motion added into my new graphics. But, yes, this is the setup. Again, there will definitely be some tweaks, to happen, and so on forth. But we're going to roll in. We're going to do my predictions again. We're going to talk about night one, take a break, and, of course, do the live chat. And we'll talk about night two, and again, I predicted them, of course, in order of how I think the matches will indeed happen. So we'll roll with there. Of course, I am very excited for this WrestleMania. I think it'll be a really good show. Card has a lot of great matches. As far as title changes, though, there's a few I'm going back and forth on. But as of the start of this video, I currently have 1, 2, 3 title changes so far happening on this show. I feel like there could be more, but from my predictions, I'm only predicting 3 title changes to happen. But again, it should be a really good show. One thing that sucks, though, is that no CM Punk is going to be... Well, he's going to be at the show on commentary for the World Heavyweight Championship match with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. But he will not be competing. He was indeed supposed to face Seth Rollins. And in case you're asking, yes. Although it was like in bits and pieces... I did see his interview on, MMA Hour, what's called, with Ariel, whatever the guy's fancy name is. I did see that interview. I do want to watch it again, but if I have time, I do want to maybe do some, like a video of me giving my thoughts on that. And I did watch once so far, even though it was late at night last night, the Bray Wyatt documentary. But I feel like I need to watch it a second time before I do my review on that as well. So both of those I will try to do this week sometime. Can't promise anything. But try to get everything else done as well. But yeah, I say the match that I'm still excited about the most for is definitely that tag match. Roman Reigns, The Rock, Cody Rhodes, and Seth Rollins from night one. And it has big implications toward the night two main event, which is Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns in the rematch for the Universal Championship. We'll have a lot to talk about, though, for most of the build for this. There's been some good build, some that's been I get it. Nothing has really been bad that I've hated. There's just some I think I expected more from. And I don't know, but still, I think overall WrestleMania 40 is going to be a very fun 2-night extravaganza. I'm excited for it. I hope you guys are. We're going to get started here, though. We got to first check out the live chat. See what we got here. We just got Tyler so far. What's up, Tyler? Thank you for joining us here. He says, you hear about AEW cutting people. I heard a couple got cut, but we're not here to talk about AEW. I don't know when. I remember we're going to do another AEW video, but right now I'm just not feeling talking about AEW. Again, I think they're doing better right now. But just, again, I just don't want to talk about AEW. Tyler's still not hyped for this show. And he misses Charlotte. He wishes Charlotte was on this show. I'm pretty sure the original plan for Charlotte was for her to fight Jade. I still think that was what WWE was going to go for. But that did not happen because Charlotte got injured. And hopefully she should be back maybe early as SummerSlam. If not, I think she will be back by Survivor Series. That's, I think, the latest she'll be back by. But you never know. So we only got Tyler so far. Again, as you all guys pile in, make sure, again, you guys all leave your thoughts and And make sure, just keep things civil in the live chat and just, again, let's have fun with this. And let's get rolling into night one's matches, which, again, there are 7 matches for night one. Most of these, there's some that I feel like could have been more so of like a night 2 match, but sometimes I guess you gotta spread out, the wealth a little bit. But let's see what we got here. So, I think we're going to open up the show with this is going to be a nice car crashing ladder match here, which we haven't had. When was the last time we had a ladder match at WrestleMania? I can't remember. Did we have one last year? I can't remember. I don't know why. It blank in my memory. But anyways, this will be fun for the tag titles. It is the tag champions, Judgment Days, Finn Balor, and Senor Money in the Bank, Damian Priest, taking on these 5 teams. From Raw, we've got DIY's Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. About damn time these two get to perform on WrestleMania. They were destined for WrestleMania. They were 2 of the best for sure in NXT during the hottest angles of the black and gold era. Long overdue first appearance for them. We also have the New Day, which I'm not going to lie. Again, I mentioned in my Raw reviews, I'm not happy that New Day's in this match. I love Kofi. I love Xavier. Don't get me wrong. But I don't get this. But how did they lose the feud to Imperium? Gave Imperium a lot of momentum, I felt like, going. They rarely had Imperium just kind of job out to Judgment Day the week after, just for them to lose, and they didn't even get a chance to get into this ladder match. I didn't get that. I don't know why. I feel, if anything, Imperium should have been in this match, but that's just me. And also from Raw is the Awesome Truth, Miz and R-Truth. Golden treasure R-Truth has been since he came back at Survivor Series. Same night as someone else did, CM Punk, but but yes, we'll talk about them as well. And the 2 teams from SmackDown, we've got A-Town Down Unders, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and formerly known as British Strong Style, but they are now known as the New Catch Republic. Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. Definitely one of the teams I'm very excited to have in this ladder match. Again, I love Pete Dunne, but as I've always praised him for, though, Tyler Bate, again, is just that talent that just anybody he fights, he's able to have good chemistry with. Whether he's fighting strong style, whether he's fighting a heavyweight, or he's fighting a high flyer, or, just any type of style. He just meshes so well. And I think if anyone is going to be the star of this match as a single star, it may most likely be him. I feel like he's going to be the person that might be stealing the spotlight in this match. You could give, of course, a close second to DIY. Again, I think DIY has, since they started feuding for the tag titles, I think they have, found, the niche. They're getting the same vibes they got from NXT again. After having the difficulty with having, Tommaso Ciampa with The Miz, and then Johnny Gargano got brought back, but then when Vince came back around, they weren't using Johnny, which I was scared. I thought Johnny was going to go bye-bye again. But they were they finally, are hitting their groove as well. A-Town Down, I already talked about New Day. A-Town Down Under, I just don't get. Again, Grayson Waller, I think, would be a good fit for a ladder match, in my opinion. He's a great in-ring talent. I still am just not feeling the character. I'm not. And again, I think my problem still is he's got the Vince moniker on me. I see him as just a Vince McMahon guy. Someone like Austin Theory, though, who finally kind of vegged away from his Vince character. But again, someone who has, to me, digressed since he beat John Cena at WrestleMania last year, which again, him and Solo Sikoa are now the two guys who beat John Cena, yet they don't benefit from it somehow, because they lose all their matches after that. So that was a one. Again, Grayson, I'm sure will have some good spots in there. I already mentioned, of course, the Awesome Truth as well. Although, isn't R-Truth storyline-wise afraid of heights? Which is going to kind of see how that impacts the storyline. We'll see here. And I did see a comment in there in the live chat from Chris LeClaire for saying how R-Truth has never won at WrestleMania. And he heard they're probably going to split the tag titles. Which, here's my takes on that. Fine, but again, I worry first off that, well, not first off. I mostly worry that there's just not enough depth to have two sets of tag titles for the men. I don't feel like you need to have two sets of titles. You can only have one. You only need one, in my opinion. But my thing is if they're going to keep the titles unified, can we please just get a new belt? Because at this point, it's been 2 years now, and the tag champs are still carrying around two belts. Like, isn't that getting a little bit ridiculous? Unless if it's two because they're a team, and it's teams of two, but, you know, it's like a trios championship having to carry 3 belts. But, this will still be an awesome match. I'm sure we will have... we have people in this match, again, who are meant to be in ladder matches. Like DIY. Kofi Kingston. Tyler Bate. Finn Balor, of course, as well. Like a bunch of, like, you know, guys whose styles mesh together. Grayson Waller. I mean, not saying the other guys won't mesh well, but it's a lot of guys that when you think ladder match, like, those are some men that you just throw in there. And just roll with it. But as far as who I can see winning this, it's been between two teams for a while now. But like I said, I really, really wanted it to be DIY. The first WrestleMania, again, they were meant to be in this position. There are people who should have been on WrestleMania years ago. I really want it to be them, and I feel like that they have the right momentum right now. But I gotta think long term here. Even though it's more so about a moment right here, and that's what WrestleMania, of course, is about as well, is moments. I still think the long term story has been R-Truth. His storyline of coming back and wanting to be part of the Judgment Day, you know, taking, you know, the signals the wrong way as if he's really is in Judgment Day and whatnot. Of course, you know, going out of his way saying how he was just dreaming in Judgment Day and saying Judgment Day slogans, live, laugh, love, just hilarious stuff. Again, R-Truth is a national treasure. Like, he's probably one of the best low card guys ever, in my opinion. And I feel like that he should get a bone thrown at him at some point. I mean, it seems in the live chat, he has never won a WrestleMania match. So, right now, while the iron's still hot and the crowd is hot for him, why not give him the win here? Now, let me just say this too, because I kind of thought of this whenever I saw the mention of the about splitting the tag titles in the live chat. I think the only way I can see the tag titles getting split is what if, like, R-Truth grabs one of the... Because anything also, too, from what I remember, I thought they established years ago that R-Truth is afraid of heights. I don't know if that's still true or not, or if they'll still roll with that at all, but apparently that's the case. What if R-Truth grabs one of the belts, celebrates... And then, let's say, DIY grabs the other belt or something like that. Like, something goofy along those lines. Or, of course, if you want to have a SmackDown team do it, then I'm sure the heelish way to do it was to be A-Town Down Under. Not really the biggest fan of that, of course, either. But, if anything, I think that may be what they may do. if they do split the tag titles, like if there's someone who would goof it up, and make it funny, it would be R-Truth. But either way, I don't think the tag titles are going to be splitting. They could, but I don't think they are. Like I said, if they're not going to split them, just make a whole new belt. But I think Awesome Truth is coming out with this victory. So that is one of 3 title changes I have predicted for this entire show. But this will be awesome. Again, like I said, the talent involved in there is going to be awesome. And again, I still think they're going to break up Judgment Day this summer. As, again, they should. It's time. I just don't... Their booking's been inconsistent. And again, I think the problem is as it was exposed by Adam Copeland, is the plans got kind of rushed for them a year earlier. Because the fact that, again, the Edge was supposed to be with Judgment Day for about a year, and then they were going to bring in Finn and kick him out. But because it wasn't working out, Edge didn't think it was working with him in it, they then, of course, pulled the plug on it and then just sped things up. So that also may have been a reason for why the Judgment Day's booking's not been the most consistent. But it's getting about time. Now, Damian Priest, though. Let's talk about him. Well, let's, tease something. Could he possibly cash in at WrestleMania? I think there's a chance. And that's what I'm also going to say about these matches. They're not all predictable. I can see a couple different outcomes happening in most of these matches. Not all of them, but most of them. I think if Damian Priest was to cash in at WrestleMania, I can see it either happening one or 2 ways. Well, no, I don't want to I'm pretty sure it's obvious most people think what the main event should be, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. But we'll mention Damian Priest when we get to the world title matches. But that's our first match. That's going to happen. The second one, a little on the random side, but I get why they're doing it. This 6-women tag match with Bianca Belair, Naomi, and The Storm, Jade Cargill, taking on Damage Control's the women's tag team champions, Asuka and Kairi Sane, and Dakota Kai. Yeah, definitely one of the weaker matches of the show. That's okay. Besides the fact is to get people like Bianca and Naomi on the show, because I'm pretty sure that they weren't going to bring back Naomi not just to screw her over. One second. Not to screw herself over. And I'm pretty sure they don't want to leave Bianca off the card either. Although I don't know what, like I said in the preview, well earlier in the intro, I still think, well, the whole point of this match, the person who they wanted to be the star of this match for sure is Jade Cargill. And I still think the original plan was to do Jade versus Charlotte. Honestly, I wouldn't okay them doing Jade versus Bianca, but they're doing this tag match instead. Whatever. As I said on Friday, I do like Jade. She does have, the look to be a top star. She's still new, though. That's the thing. She's still in her early stages as a wrestler. And yes, she had, the 60-0 streak with the TBS title in AEW. But again, they didn't really look further into her rather than her just winning. She still was green. And, she's been signed to WWE since last fall. But again, Triple H did put her on TV until he felt she was ready. So now is the thing of, okay, we were waiting for her. You said you wanted to make sure she was ready. Let's see what she can do. I don't think she is the person that they should put the rocket ship on her and just push her immediately and get the world title. I think if you're gonna say this is the piece of our this is the future of the women's division. This is the person who the show's gonna be built around. I still think you gotta start slow. And I think this match, is going to, allow her to, get help from, getting the experience in there. And I think, you could still, showcase, like a couple other talents in this match. But I think in some way or form, you're going to still tell a story like, okay, the future star right here is Jade. But again, I don't think she should be getting like a women's title like immediately. Like probably not even this year. Like give her some feuds and just allow the crowd to think she's the next face of the women's division. But this is like the beginning of that with this match. And Jade, the babyfaces are going to win this match. This is very predictable. The babyfaces will in fact win. Rather have them pin either Dakota or Kyrie. I just still hate the fact, though, that Asuka is going to be 0-6 at WrestleMania after that match. That is BS. That should not be the case. For crying out loud, the lady who had the Goldberg treatment in NXT is 0-6 at WrestleMania. I mean, that again... Did Goldberg ever win any match at WrestleMania? I don't think he has. Because if you think about it, he lost at WrestleMania 20. I think it's only WrestleMania he was there. He lost at WrestleMania 33. He lost at WrestleMania 36. Yeah, I think Bill's never won at WrestleMania either. So never mind, because she is getting the Goldberg treatment. But, man. But yeah, so I definitely see the babyfaces winning this, and again, Jade Cargill is going to get the pin. Is going to get the pin and get her momentum going for sure. But yeah, that is definitely one of the more predictable matches on this card. This next one, I am torn on. Well, most of them I'm torn on. But we have this match here. Gunther versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. Last year at WrestleMania 39, Gunther had maybe the best match of WrestleMania weekend. Well, that or the tag title match with Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and the Usos. But that triple threat last year with Gunther, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus... Oh man, was that quite a classic. This year, he's facing Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. And I'll be honest, even though I have a prediction, I honestly am not still 100% convinced either direction right now. Because here's my thing. I'm one of the people who wanted this to be Chad Gable. They gave it, though, to Sami Zayn. Which I was afraid Sami Zayn was going to get the backlash. And people were going to turn on Sami Zayn. But again, we can't have everybody being a Dwayne Johnson who will get the heat and then use it to help elevate another talent. No, we can't. That can't be for everyone. And Sami Zayn also has been a heel long enough that he's got to get a run as a babyface. Here's the other thing that made this prediction kind of hard. Is the fact that this, of course, was not the original plan. The plan did seem to be for Sami Zayn to fight Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. And originally, Gunther was supposed to fight Brock Lesnar. But Brock Lesnar's name did come up in the Vince McMahon scandal. And CM Punk got hurt. So they needed somebody to fight Seth. So, Chad Gable, even though, of course, he is the one that everyone sees as the one that should be the one to beat Gunther to end his classic reign as the longest reigning Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion of the world. They didn't give him that chance at WrestleMania. They gave it to Sami instead. And my thing was okay, if Gunther was going to fight Brock, then he was definitely going to retain, right? So that's why I thought, well, they probably had to be Sammy instead of Chad here, because the plan was never for Gunther to lose the title at WrestleMania. That very well, may have been the reason why they went with this route instead. And just because they'll give Gunther... sorry, I'm a little distracted here for a second. Just so they can go give Gunther the win he was supposed to get, and then later on down the line, maybe we can have Chad Gable, or as Gunther would say, Chad Gable, down the line being the one to dethrone Gunther. Of course, the awkward part of this story, though, has been the fact that Gunther is still training Sami Zayn to, Chad Gable is still training Sami Zayn to help him get ready for Gunther. And as I said before, it just feels like... It just feels like to me that it feels like Chad Gable's like the ex-girlfriend to the Intercontinental title match. Like, he still wants to be involved with it, but he can't have it. It's weird. It's very weird, I would say. But, so either way, anyways, getting to my point here. I was convinced that we, in fact, were going to see Gunther beat Sammy. But I won't lie, though. This past week's episode of Raw, with that segment, that very well shot segment they had with Sami Zayn working with Chad, Sammy admitting that, he is scared because last time he got a big singles title shot like this, he let everyone down. Like, Chad knows how Chad felt whenever he made his daughter cry. He felt the same way how when he disappointed his family in Montreal. Like, he doesn't, like... It feels like they're trying to build to the point where, like I said, they sometimes build someone up to where, okay, we're still behind him. But if they don't get it this time, then it could hurt them in the long run. Which, that's, of course, where I stand with Cody Rhodes, except, we'll talk about that later. That's even more of a, not saying struggle bus, but more of a challenge. But, and then, of course, when they had, like, Gunther beat down Chad during Sammy's match with Bronson Reed this past week. And then, of course, Sammy tried to save Chad, but Gunther beat the crap out of him, only for Sami Zayn to still stand back up and keep on fighting. And, of course, Gunther knocked him back down. That kind of gave me the inkling that maybe Sammy could win this match. But, despite all that, and when, just reality set back in, it just still feels like this is a tad out of place for Sammy. Like, I think he should have been fighting for the world title. So, I don't know if Sammy's going to lose clean here. I'm still sticking with Gunther. I have a slight inkling to want to see Sammy, but my pick is still Gunther. Because the original plan was for him to fight Brock, and I'm pretty sure they weren't going to have him drop the title to Brock. And also, Brock Lesnar's even more beyond the Intercontinental Championship, in my opinion. But how Sammy loses, it could be clean. It could be off of, like, another distraction. What if maybe Chad Gable turns on Sammy, but I don't want to see Chad be a heel again. But we'll have to wait and see. How Sammy loses, I don't know. But yeah. So I still think Gunther's going to retain. But I have a slight inkling they may pull the upset and have Sammy be the one to win. So, we'll see what happens there. So that was a tough one for me to predict. One that's not so tough is the match we've been waiting for since last summer. The Usos are going to be at WrestleMania this year, but not with each other, but against each other. Main event, Jey Uso is taking on his twin brother, Jimmy Uso. Brother versus brother. No stipulations. No Rikishi as special guest referee, as I thought we may be getting. None of that at all. So, this one is, I wouldn't say completely predictable, but not super unpredictable. My thing is again, and I've been saying this for months, the build to this match has been okay. It feels like a feud that's still, though, in first gear. And that's sad because this feud started way back when Jimmy cost Jay his match at SummerSlam, when Jimmy first returned. But once again, that heel turn still did not make sense, in my opinion. Why? I mean, I think what would have helped is if Jimmy did turn. And again, he says he wants to protect Jay from, becoming tribal chief and becoming exactly like Roman. When in reality shouldn't this more so be that Jimmy is just jealous of Jay and he wanted to take away his single spotlight? But also, what doesn't make sense is how Jimmy was allowed back in the bloodline. Like, I remember when they first teased the idea, when they had a storyline where their Judgment Day was trying to get Jay to join them, and instead, though, they had, but instead he didn't, and they actually teased the idea of Jimmy. Like, honestly, I would have been okay with that. Because I think this feud needed to stay away from the bloodline. It didn't, and I still wanted it to stay as well. Why did Roman Reigns accept Jimmy back in? And Jimmy, for crying out loud, has literally had no character development since his heel turn at SummerSlam. He's basically just been the guy sitting there and eating the pins for the bloodline. I mean, Solo's been eating pins too, so it's not much different. But again, I just feel like this could have been done better. And the thing is I could maybe see this feud continuing. But my problem is the fact that I have been just sitting on this one for so long, waiting for more character development, and being like, feeling like, okay, we're about to get something here, it doesn't happen. Want to get something here, it doesn't happen. And I'm just at a point where I'm kind of like, okay, let's just have this match. It's going to be good, and let's just move on. Could it continue? Maybe. But again, like, Jimmy's got no character development out of this. Like, a lot of people, and I still think the same, a lot of people think they only did that heel turn with Jimmy just to have some type of, even if it didn't quite make sense, reason for most of the bloodline to stick together to stall until we got to Roman and Cody at WrestleMania. So, I think, we're going to have just Jay win here, and we're just going to move on. I don't know, what the story will be for Jimmy following that, especially if Roman does lose, which, again, we'll talk about that at the end of the video. But I just think, have Jay win, and let's move on. Had Jimmy would have had a little bit more character development, then maybe I could have seen maybe Jimmy wins this match, and this is the first of like 3 or something like that. And we do like another match maybe at like Clash at the Castle in June, which was announced today, and then do the blow off at SummerSlam or something like that. But again, this feels like just a one-time match at this point, because I've really been kind of disappointed at the story and the build for this. Because, when they finally pull the trigger, it's like, okay, let's just fight. Basically, it's like, okay, Jimmy turned on SummerSlam, see you in a few months at WrestleMania. That's all it really felt like. But, I think Jay's winning this match. And again, we're just going to move on from there. The next match on the card is a tag match between LWO's Rey Mysterio and his tag team partner, the upcoming Dragon Lee. They're taking on the team of leader of Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, and Rey's son, Dominic Mysterio. I do find it very interesting, of course, that they're doing the storyline where Dominic is doing this stuff with this business with Santos, and Judgment Day is not happy about it because he's not communicating as to what's going on. So how are they starting to lose some trust in Dom? They very well could be. Dom is also trying to put in for a good word for Andrade, which a lot of people wonder if this is a sign that, you know, both of them are probably going to form some type of group with Santos, but then what will be the point then of like Los Lotharios with them or something? So that's got me interested. And then we have on the LWO side, Rey Mysterio, which, first let me just say this, even though I like the idea of having Santos and Dom working together, I still did kind of wish this would have just been Santos and Rey one-on-one. I feel like we've seen him wrestle a couple times, but then it was like a friendly competition. This should have led to maybe a bigger stipulation match, such as maybe something like Mask versus Hair, as I predicted in my WrestleMania card previewing predictions. I predicted that. But we're getting this tag match instead, which again could still be interesting. But I'm wondering though, Dragon Lee, who I love Dragon Lee, got picked over Carlito. There are people who do think Carlito's going to turn on Rey, which honestly I don't like. Because my thing is, although yes, Carlito probably will be a little better, being a little more like a cockier heel. My thing though is how many more people can turn on Rey? It's like one person turns on him. One person sympathizes with him, and then that person turns on him, and then someone else sympathizes with Rey, and then that person turns on him. Like, it's an ongoing cycle. And I feel like you can't keep doing that, because if you do, then you're going to make the heels look right. And then it's like at some point, Rey's got to go heel then, because he's just like someone that everybody turns on. So why should they feel bad for Rey? Like how do they not know it's his fault that everybody keeps turning on him? But nonetheless, since this is a tag match, I do think you got to give Santos and Dom the win here. Just my opinion. It'll be good. I'm wondering, because we've seen Santos and Dragon Lee have a handful of matches last fall, and I still felt like, in my opinion, they held back on the both of them for a while. I just keep thinking back to the matches Dragon Lee had with Cedric Alexander earlier this year. His matches with Santos just feel like a little held back. And I feel like that he has a lot more to offer when he fights Santos. But I think the heels get the victory here. And again, it could lead to something where, again, Dom does leave Judgment Day, but he joins up with Santos, or he very well could, people said for the longest time, what if Dom, takes everyone else from LWO and makes his own faction of it? And Rey's all alone, and he has two factions of people who absolutely hate him. But I don't know. We'll see where it goes, but I think the heels are coming out winners in this tag match here. All right, this next match. So, I still think originally, until I saw the card as to which matches are going to be on which night, I thought this and the Jay and Jimmy match were night 2 matches. But not the case here. We have our semi-main event of the show. Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch for the Women's World Championship. This match has been teased the hell out of for the longest time. Months ago, up until maybe Survivor Series, I wanted this so badly to be Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark. Becky and Rhea, though, is a dream match. And I think it will be a freaking awesome match. Rhea Ripley has definitely become one of the biggest stars in the entire company. Not just in the women's division, but in the entire company for sure. They've done her championship reign started off very slow. Until maybe around like SummerSlam or something. And then they finally start giving her like full speed ahead with her title reign. It hasn't been the best, but it was better for sure. Character-wise, though, she definitely found her niche. As mommy, and basically, not being fully acknowledged as it, I still consider her like the leader of Judgment Day. And then we have Becky Lynch, which again, I love Becky Lynch, but again, I was the type of person where it's like, hey, I wanted Zoe Stark. Or like, I wanted someone new. But you can't deny this match. This is going to be an awesome match. I can definitely see this also, like Rhea and Charlotte last year, I can see this definitely being maybe one of the best matches of the night, best matches of the weekend, and maybe one of the best matches of the year as well, I can see happening. Now, who do I see winning? Well, I am kind of in the same boat as I was for Sami and Gunther. I still think Rhea needs to win this match. Again, I love Becky, but she doesn't need the championship. But this dream match is a WrestleMania-worthy match to happen. And to me, it's like Becky would be somebody you would expect to beat Rhea. The only reason why I think there's a chance they may give the belt to Becky is because, again, they're telling that story where, she is basically is Becky versus the world, and Rhea's just sitting back until WrestleMania. Becky's taking on all comers, including, of course, taking out Nia Jax and, clearing up like a void that's been bothering her for ages, which was, she kind of never got her revenge on Nia back in 2018 when she broke her nose. But, of course, she finally overcame all that in that excellent Last Woman Standing match. But I still think she's not the one to end Rhea's reign. I still think give her the summer to continue on with the title, and at SummerSlam, do Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. I still think that's the way they gotta go, because that's kind of the story here. Liv's whole revenge tour, whatever it is. And she has history with Rhea Ripley. She's the last person to pin Rhea Ripley. She was Rhea's tag team partner when Rhea first turned heel 2 years ago. Like, this, I think the history more so dates back to that. This is more so of like a dream match that's going to just knock our socks off. And it's also going to be, like I said, Rhea is going to have Rhea beat someone else who like you would expect to beat her. To the point where we're like, okay, who else could beat Rhea? Just my opinion. But I still think Rhea should win this match here. Again, I can maybe see Becky winning it though. I won't be upset, but I think Rhea should retain this match. And then finally to end night one, we still got night two to go too. Wow, holy smokes. The main event of night one is this tag match. The Tribal Chief, the Universal Champion for over 1,300 days, Roman Reigns. He teams with his cousin, the final boss, the Great One, Dwayne, as Punk calls him. Vince McMahon, you and your buddy Dwayne. But we will call him, of course, refer to him as The Rock. So Roman Reigns and The Rock are teaming up to take on Cody Rhodes and the World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins. Stories here are basically, here, Roman and The Rock, family, united by blood. Of course, they wanted that match. They thought their match was going to be the best for business at WrestleMania. Which, quite frankly, it's still a match that has to happen. Hopefully at next year's WrestleMania. See, now we actually have light at the end of that tunnel. And this right here is where things, well, not this match exactly, but maybe the main event of night 2 could be where, in fact, we finally get, the direction, and we will finally get that match with Roman Reigns and The Rock. Now that The Rock is here to stay, it's got to happen sooner rather than later. And then, of course, there's Cody Rhodes, who has acknowledged the fact that, he's getting a second chance to finish his story. Winning the Royal Rumble back-to-back years, one of the very few times that's been done. And he is teaming up with someone he does not really get along with, but they have a common ally. And Seth Rollins has his beef with the Bloodline. Seth Rollins also, we know, has a history with Roman Reigns, not just as Shield brothers. We all know Seth Rollins has beaten Roman Reigns on pay-per-view before. And I also know Seth Rollins, I think, is the only person that Roman fought that his match ended in a DQ on pay-per-view. And who was not by his side? Paul Heyman. The only reason why Cody Rhodes did not win that championship last year is because of Paul Heyman. I wish they would have emphasized that more in this build. They didn't, but as I said from the moment Cody won the Rumble, just give me something different. And even though, of course, they made me more excited for this match than the main event of night 2, I still think, these implications that impact that match still make this one very important, that make me wonder, and especially, of course, how, dominant they made the duo of Roman Reigns and The Rock, especially how Raw ended last night, whooping them with those belts. I think you definitely, exceeded expectations on that. The Rock took the heat he got for taking, and again, I know I've heard that, Rock, thought the match was best for business. I still think, and this is just me, they did that whole thing with Cody originally giving up his spot for The Rock just to kind of test the audience and see where does their heart truly stand with this. I mean, they can't do it with everything. They couldn't do it with Chad Gable, but they had their main event of WrestleMania. Like, they had to, make sure they got it right. And, again, Seth Rollins' story also here is the fact that he wants to have the Bloodline stop thinking that they're superior to him. He has worked his ass off the past year being the workhorse world champion, while Roman Reigns only works 5 nights a year and is still holding the world title. So he also wants to prove that, he is not just number 2 to Roman as well. So Cody and Seth, they have a common enemy. So that's why they are working together. And again, the stipulations are, if Cody and Seth win this match, then the Bloodline is barred from ringside. But if Roman and The Rock win, it's Bloodline rules. Anything goes. So, I, again, think this is very hard to predict. I have my pick, though. Because here's where I stand with this. I don't think The Rock should lose his first match in a ring in years. I do feel like they kind of have to, build in that fear, build in that doubt. I mean, you kind of got in that closing segment on Raw this past week, and of course week before, build in that doubt that maybe Cody just, like last year, we all thought Cody was going to do it, and he didn't. This year, I think they got to make us worried and just, again, feel more that there's a chance Cody may not do it. Because last year, of course, he dealt with Solo Sikoa, Jimmy and Jay, and Paul Heyman. Now he's got the final boss, The Rock, to worry about as well. So, here's the reason, though, why I think that they should lose, though. Is because the whole idea here is that Cody Rhodes also wants to take away everything from Roman. And that includes taking away the bloodline. Like I said, I know I mentioned that Paul Heyman, again, you can compare the bloodline to like the Horcruxes. Roman Reigns is Voldemort. The rest of the bloodlines, his Horcruxes. Paul Heyman's been his Nagini. But then we have The Rock, who could very well be Severus Snape. And I think there's still a way where Cody could take everything away from Roman, even if they lose this match. There's also, of course, again, with Seth and Cody. Will Seth turn on Cody Rhodes? Could that happen? We will have to, of course, see, of course. I think there's a chance it could, but I think Seth Rollins is still way too over right now to even be in running to be a heel. But I also do think Seth is taking some time off soon to heal up his injuries. So, unless if he does turn heel and then we get like a match with him and Seth at Backlash or something, and Cody beats Seth, and that's what writes Seth off TV. I don't know. But I don't think that one is quite as possible. But I think there's a chance. I still am going to stick with my prediction. And I think the Bloodline is going to win this match. Because like I said, I think even though, of course, Cody's plan is he wants to take everything away from Roman, there's still a way that it can be done on night 2, even if it is Bloodline rules. But I still think you gotta have The Rock win his first match back. I really think that you gotta, again, create more of that doubt, more of that worry to make you feel more intrigued about Cody Rhodes being the one to dethrone Roman. And I think you gotta kind of have that one last obstacle where you're like, uh-oh. So I think the Bloodline is going to win this tag match. And quite frankly, I think this probably will be, this could be the match of the weekend. Could be a match of the year. I think this is definitely, and I plan on, as of now, well, night 1 I'm watching at my house with some family. Night 2 I'm watching it with friends. But there's going to be a lot more people there that I don't know too well. So I'm only going to do a live reaction for night 1, and it is to this match. I still know this is going to be probably the best match of the weekend. It's probably been the best built match for sure for this whole card. But I do think Roman Reigns and The Rock will come out as the winners. And this match and night 2's main event will also be history, as Roman will tie Hulk Hogan on night 1. And on night 2, will break Hulk Hogan's record, main eventing his 9th WrestleMania. So, there we got that prediction. Wow, we are 1 hour in and we've only finished night 1. I need a quick breather for a second, guys. I'm going to step away just for about a minute or two, get myself relaxed for a second, and then I am going to be right back, and we'll check the live chat, and then we'll continue on to night 2. So stay tuned just for a moment. guys, thank you for that. I just need a quick second just to, just check a couple things and just roll back into this WrestleMania preview and predictions. By the way, also, what are you guys' thoughts again on the new graphics as well? Like I said, this is like the general setup for like a pay-per-view prediction. Again, I think the one change I'm definitely going to make is not put the logo right in front of me like I did before. I just thought if I put it like behind everyone, I felt that it may interfere a little bit. But I like the motion. Again, they're going to definitely be tweaked over time as I do sharpen my skills up again with Adobe After Effects. And also, I've still been able to get through here without a thunderstorm so far. So again, I'm pretty sure that List of Jericho is going to be coming out at some point here as they caused me to skip my trivia night because it called for some bad storms. So yeah, I'm not quite happy about that. But at least I've been able to get this in. So far, have a good preview so far for sure. But yeah, let's go ahead and check the live chat really quick before we move on to night 2 and see what we got here. So I think we left off with Chris Leclerc saying how R-Truth has never won at WrestleMania. I think he will win here though. I heard they probably are going to split the tag titles, which I mentioned how I think I could see that happening if it did happen. But I don't think it should happen at this time. They still need to build some more depth in that tag team division. Just like Bayley has never won a title at WrestleMania. She hasn't won a title at Mania, but she retained a title at Mania. Twice, I believe it is. But she hasn't won a title yet. Jade Cargill picks up the win for the team and pins Dakota Kai. That's fine with me. Bianca Belair is undefeated at WrestleMania. That is for sure as well. Asuka, of course, does deserve better. Yes, I agree. Oh, Goldberg did win at WrestleMania 20. Thanks for correcting that for me, Tyler. I didn't realize that. And Chris also corrected me as well, too. Sorry about that, guys. Once again, Asuka is being buried to Bianca again at WrestleMania. Why Asuka should... Tyler, buddy, I'm sorry. That's wishing someone to be hurt again. That's not nice. I'm sorry. I don't tolerate... I don't think that's nice, buddy. I'm sorry. My heart says Sami Zayn wins, but Gunther wins for the IC title. I also heard the third unified board championships and tag titles. Not sure what you mean, what Wrestling News 365 means there. But what's up? Thank you for joining us. Chris also predicted Jey Uso to win. Do you think Stone Cold Steve Austin and John Cena are going to return at WrestleMania 40 to help Cody Rhodes win the world title? I think it is possible. I mean, of course, if you want to get some... Again, the whole we'll talk about that when we get to the match. But is it possible? Yes, I do think it's possible. Clash of the Castle is on June 15th, which is Bayley's birthday. Really? Nice. Chris also thinks LWO is going to win the tag match. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, which will happen when Punk gets back. He also thinks Rhea Ripley is going to retain. Liv Morgan's pinned Rhea twice. Tyler thinks Becky needs to win at WrestleMania. Chris also said the Bloodline wins. The only two matches that Tyler cares about on this card is Seth and Drew and AJ and LA Knight. Okay, fine by me. But yeah, so that's night 1 predictions. We've been an hour and 5 minutes in. We're still going strong here, boys and girls. Well, no girls yet in the live chat, but if they do join, that's totally cool as well. It's my channel's welcome to anybody who wants to attend. Just keep things civil as always. Okay, so night 2. Match should probably open up with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. Which I do think there could be a chance also that maybe Drew also could interfere in that tag match and kind of in some ways return the favor to the Bloodline. They did help him beat Cody Rhodes recently after he, of course, says they're the reason why he's not champion. And, maybe he could, take out Seth in the match and cost them the match at what's it called? I'm drawing a blank now. on night one. That's another possibility that could happen. But we all know this was not the original planned match. It was supposed to be Seth Rollins versus CM Punk, who got injured, a torn tricep, after taking a Future Shock DDT from Drew during the Royal Rumble. And Drew McIntyre has just relished in the idea that he took CM Punk out. And he is, again, doing some of the best character work I have for sure seen with this very justified heel character. I love the fact that we have a justified heel character where a lot of things he speaks is the truth. And Drew, to begin with, is a great talker here. So, of course, this match came about instead. Now, who's going to win this match? Well, this match, I think it became a little less predictable. Because the story here, of course, for this match is the fact that besides the fact that Drew was trying to get another shot at the world title, he's had 2 within the past 7 or 8 months against Seth. And every time he's lost, there's always an excuse. So this time, though, we got CM Punk, who's going to be on commentary. And Punk's got beef with both of these men. We all know that him and Seth do not get along. But, of course, they can still do work together when need be. But also, Drew McIntyre, again, is just basking in his glory and also has a grudge against CM Punk as well. So I'm pretty sure, even though Punk cannot do anything physically, his mouth is working, so something could happen with that. But the whole idea until last Monday on Raw in Chicago was the fact that Drew thought Seth was completely distracted because he is also helping out Cody Rhodes with the Bloodline. Well, Drew McIntyre finally has his distraction now with CM Punk. Seth and Punk can be civil and still do business with each other, but Drew, on the other hand, he knows someone who can't be as focused with Punk around. So that's what makes this match a little bit more unpredictable. Either way, though, I still think they're giving the belt to Drew here. They want Drew to stay. I'm pretty sure they're going to give him the belt. And also, again, he's done this great character work that he's getting a third opportunity. I don't think you can pass that up. But I think there's 1 or 2 ways Drew is going to win here. He's going to just pin Seth. I don't know if, Punk will cause a distraction, cause one of them to lose or whatnot while on commentary. Or if, Drew just finally wins clean, because there's always been an excuse for the first feud. And I think Drew believably can win clean. Or, of course, if it's kind of a thing where, we get a tease for the main event, the Bloodline win and they think they can do whatever they want, and they, of course, return the favor and help Drew win, kind of reuniting there, that's possible as well. Or, what if they did this? First of 2 possibilities I could possibly see if we see a cash in at WrestleMania. What if Damian Priest, someone else who previously is an excuse as to why Drew didn't win the second time when he fought Seth for the world title? What if Damian Priest cashes in because Drew McIntyre paid him to lay down for him, and Drew pins Priest to win the title because of a cash in? Because I don't know. Well, then of course there is. I still lean towards the fact that they may not have Damian Priest succeed with his cash in. But if he's not going to succeed, at least have it do something beneficial. Which, him laying down for Drew could be the one. And it could be kind of like a ruse. Where, someone else, either the Bloodline or someone else that Drew has had a little bit of a history with, all of a sudden now they've come together. That could be the case as well. Either way, though, some way, somehow, I think Drew is walking out as World Heavyweight Champion. I know as a heel in front of fans, but he still deserves that moment in front of fans. And I think this is, the right time to do it. Again, he's done some of the best heel character work I have seen in a long time. And this is his third opportunity. Not getting the title here is just going to be bogus at this point. So, I think Drew wins the title here. And again, if Seth does maybe have a match with Cody at the next pay-per-view or something, either way, I think it's time though Seth takes some time off and takes care of himself. Again, he has had a phenomenal run as World Heavyweight Champion, but he's got to take care of himself. His back, his knees, he's got to just recharge. Give him a break. So, I think that's how we're going to open up night 2. Following that, we have a triple threat match for the United States Championship. Logan Paul, my favorite person in the world. Blech! Yeah, right. Taking on Randy Orton and Kevin Owens in a triple threat match for the United States Championship. Again, another match that will be good. Not going to be a standout match, but it will still be good. The build's still a little bit weird because it feels like that they've done too much of Randy Orton and Kevin Owens being buddy-buddy. The build kind of seems not 100%, but a little similar to how it was last year with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus when they were taking on Gunther in the triple threat match. It seems a little similar, I think. Because, I don't know. I still would have rather had this be Logan Paul versus LA Knight. But there was still some unfinished business with Kevin Owens. And then Logan Paul decided to take a jab at Randy Orton. And after Randy RKO'd him out of the chamber, Logan knocked out Randy with the one lucky punch. And of course, knowing from the past, Randy Orton's not someone you want to piss off. He really isn't. I've seen enough of Randy Orton to know he's not a guy you want to piss off. But he still has his softer side right now, Randy. He's still kind of in the honeymoon. It feels great to be back. I didn't think I was going to be able to do this again type thing. But still, he's dangerous when he strikes. But it'll still be a good match. But I do think that they went this route instead of Logan and LA. Because I think that they want to keep the belt on Logan a little longer. I think Logan Paul is going to retain in this match. Especially since they now have that Prime sponsorship. I think they're going to keep the belt on Logan a little bit longer. Maybe till the end of summer. I hate to see that happen, but it's very possible it's going to happen. Eventually, though, he's got to drop that belt to LA Knight. It has to happen at some point. They've got to give LA Knight a championship at this point. And if there's no room for him in the world title picture right now, he should be United States champion. Heck, you should get him in the U.S. title back at SummerSlam last year or about around that time and be the one that dethroned Austin Theory. Yeah! Which we'll get to LA Knight here very shortly here as well. But yeah, I think because of his sponsorship, I think they're going to keep the belt on Logan a little bit longer. So Logan Paul is going to retain in this match. Who he pins, I don't know. But we'll just roll from there. So yeah, that's that match. The next match is... This one just recently got announced online by SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis. It is The Pride, which is Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. They'll be taking on the team of The Final Testament, Karrion Kross, and the authors of Pain, Akam and Rezar. Again, The Final Testament. As of now, it's just a 6-man tag team Philadelphia street fight, which I predicted Extreme Rules for this match. But hey, Philadelphia street fight is basically almost or just about the same thing. So I will take it. I will not complain. I am totally cool with it. But the build to this, though, has been a little meh. Because I get it, I do like the idea of this new group for Karrion Kross. I think it has a ton of potential, but it just still feels like he's in the same spot he was in as he was before this group even formed. So much so that I'm kind of wondering, okay, because there's some guys that it feels like that they're getting ready to push, but they want to wait until after WrestleMania. And I feel like Karrion Kross is one of those guys that they've got something there, but they just need to find that opening for him. And I feel like that they want to give him a push, but wait until after WrestleMania. My thing though is, if that was the case though, why didn't you just wait until after WrestleMania though to debut this new group though? That's my thing. I like the Pride, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. Of course, they have B-Fab as their valet, and the Final Testament have, of course, Paul Ellering as still the manager for the Authors of Pain, and Scarlett Bordeaux as the valet to Karrion Kross. I still think it has to be the Final Testament. I think, again, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, they'll be okay. I still think, though, after this feud ends, though, I think you got to return the Pride to being heels. Because to me, it just, with them going back to being baby faces, I feel like it just kind of made them feel like their old selves, like before they even became a thing. And I think the idea of them going heel was to kind of present something different with them. So I keep thinking that this face run for the Pride is temporary. I do kind of want to see them go back to being heels after this feud ends. But I do also want to see them finally get the momentum going, though, with the Final Testament. As I think this stable has a ton of potential for sure. Knowing the artistic ability, again, of Karrion Kross, I do think that they could really go far if they give them, the time and place. So I think the Final Testament needs this win more than the Pride. It'll be a car crash of a match. It'll be really good. But I do think that's who needs to win, is the Final Testament in this tag match. Following that, we got, everyone say his name, L.A. Knight. Yeah! Taking on the phenomenal AJ Styles. Which I'm hearing rumors that AJ may be debuting a new theme song soon. Interesting. This will also be a good match. I know some people thought that these two should have been included in the multi-man United States Championship match. Maybe that could have been a ladder match, which I did predict a fatal four-way involving Braun Breaker originally on my WrestleMania card. But I do feel like these guys have been in enough multi-man matches. It's time you finally settle the beef between them one-on-one. I am surprised, though, that this doesn't have a stipulation to it. Because, of course, when you have a man like AJ Styles, who's crazy to fly all the way across the country to Australia just to whoop someone with a steel chair, and it's been used several times in the build here, you would think that they would have had like a stipulation to this match. They didn't, though. But, it still should be a good match. Another matchup that I don't know who's going to win. I'm torn. My prediction is LA Knight. Because I think he should keep winning. We'll give him a win on pay-per-view against a guy like AJ Styles. But then my problem is AJ Styles really has not been winning much at all the last 2 years. And I'm kind of getting a little tired of it. If he wants to keep his stock high, I think he should get a victory at some point. But I just don't feel like LA Knight is the guy that he should he should be losing to AJ though. So that's why I'm a little torn, but I'm still gonna stick with Knight. But again, like as soon as possible, get that US belt on him. And again, it's not like him and Logan have like no history. Again, they had like some good promos leading up to the Money in the Bank ladder match last year. So they kind of set up like a future program though already, but that would still be an excellent program. LA Knight and Logan Paul for the US title. But I think Knight's going to win this. Although again, I hate to see AJ lose again, but it is what it is. So we got that one. All right. Then we have the WWE Women's Championship match. Io Sky, the champion, taking on her former leader, former mentor, and the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble winner, Bayley. This was, of course, the first official WrestleMania match made official on SmackDown, I believe it was. The SmackDown after Rumble. Whenever Bayley finally acknowledged that she knew that Damage Control all this time had been plotting against her. And, she's going to, teach Io a lesson. But, of course, with that being said, it has still led to... Bayley basically realizing that she's alone and she's got a lot of people she's trying to regain trust with or build trust with. I mean, she's got Naomi already who immediately sympathize with her. She's trying to build some trust with Bianca Belair, but Bianca's been the one person that Bayley has been fighting probably the most since Damage Control first formed at SummerSlam 2022. So she's still kind of... It still feels like that this is another story that's kind of getting out of first gear. Although it hasn't felt like it's been too long for me like it was with Jimmy and Jay. But this one is tough because Bayley does deserve to win a title at WrestleMania. Again, she has... retained a title twice at WrestleMania. That being done at when she retained in that Fatal 4-Way Elimination match at WrestleMania 33, and then at WrestleMania 36 in that Fatal 5-Way match for the SmackDown Women's title. She retained in that match as well. Was that elimination as well? I feel like it might have been elimination as well. I can't remember, but this new group, well, they're still Damage Control, but I still thought they should change the name to them maybe. But this new group of Damage Control without Bayley that has Dakota, but also the trios of the Japanese Joshi wrestlers, Io, Asuka, and Kairi, they're just getting started. And I feel like it kind of has to be a continued story first off of Bayley's created a monster and she can't really take them down on her own right now. And I feel like it's too soon for Damage Control to, be losing, for Io to be losing their title. Even though Damage Control is going to lose their tag match, so there's that. Bayley can still win this. It's possible. But I feel like this has to be a story. It feels like a story that still has more pages in the book. I feel like, Bayley's got to build up some more trust with other people. And basically, I think continue to build more of the sympathy. I'm not saying become the hugger again. But again, I think right now, Bayley still has to, gain the trust of more people to eventually even the odds. Like, at some point, I don't think it's going to be until Survivor Series, but if you would get to, a War Games match, I could see it being Io, Kairi, Asuka, and Dakota versus Bayley, Bianca, Naomi, and probably Jade Cargill. Unless, of course, they want to, maybe throw in Mia Yim or... Well, Shotzi's going to break me out for another year, so not her. Or a few others. But I still feel like they have to still build a little more sympathy on Bayley. I still think there's a chance she could win this. But I think Io's going to retain. I'm going to pick Io retaining just so they can build up, a little more sympathy on Bayley. And kind of do a little bit of coming of age of Bayley, getting her redemption and regaining the trust that she, of course, lost when she first went haywire several years ago. So I don't think Io's dropping the title yet. Eventually, Bayley will dethrone her, But I just don't think they haven't done enough for where she should do it here. But we will see, though. And then last but not least, the main event for the second year in a row of Night 2. We got Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Part 2 for the Universal Championship. Cody's second and final chance to finish the story. Will he in fact do it this year? And as I predicted, I think it is going to be Bloodline rules. Again, it does make sense for it to be Bloodline barred, as Cody Rhodes wants to take everything away from Roman. Now, there's no denying that taking The Rock out of this, I feel like we probably would have gotten the same story as last year, which would have been kind of lame, kind of boring. We kind of got that taste in that weak face-to-face confrontation last week on SmackDown. Well, 2 weeks ago on SmackDown. So, I've got to hurry. It sounds like the storm is starting to get here, so I better hurry up. I think they could have avoided that if they wouldn't have had Cody try to shake Roman's hand. That's the part where it kind of killed it for me. But the whole point, I think, of that tag match also is kind of to get to a point where it feels like Roman's got everything in the palm of his hands. Like, okay, again, I hate to do a Harry Potter comparison again, but again, I'm calling Roman Reigns Voldemort, and The Rock is Severus Snape. Because The Rock, being on Roman's team, and then winning on night 1, is kind of like the end of Half-Blood Prince, with them Severus taking out Dumbledore to 100% gain the trust of Lord Voldemort. Now, I'm not saying that Roman's going to turn on The Rock, because Roman's got no need to. The Rock has a reason to turn on Roman Reigns, because you do see whenever Roman wants The Rock to acknowledge him as his tribal chief, The Rock doesn't seem to fully 100% accept that. And there have been plenty of teases, of course, for to show that Rock could turn on Roman. Which is why I'm going to say this match, I don't think the match in general, just between these two, is going to top off last year. I'm not saying it's going to suck, but I think what's going to overshadow it is the moment. Is the story. Again, basically, it's going to be the Battle of Hogwarts in this Bloodline Rules match. That's what it's going to basically be. Because you could see people like Jey Uso or Seth Rollins, if he didn't turn on Cody Rhodes, get involved in the match. You could see that happening. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. People are asking about John Cena and Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, John Cena's got history of the Bloodline. Heck, I'll put it this way. John Cena could come back just to equalize Solo. Because Solo was the one who took him out. So he'd come back for that. And then, at first... Now, here's the thing. I think there is a chance The Rock could turn on Roman in this match. But, if he's not... You could relive some history, bring out Stone Cold Steve Austin, have him be the one to equalize The Rock. I'm just saying. Because Cody's admitting he can't do this alone. He needs help to take out the Bloodline. So, it could lead to all that chaos there for sure. But, and here's the thing. I highly doubt, again, last year, Cody winning would have made it look like they were handing it to him on a silver platter. Because again, he came back, he wrestled 3 pay-per-view matches, then tore his pec. Came back at number 30 in the Royal Rumble and won. And then, again, it just didn't feel like he had struggle. I mean, yes, he dealt with Brock Lesnar, but then, of course, he was kind of like just getting stalled between SummerSlam and Rumble. But then they've had this great story with him and The Rock. But, as I keep saying, the reason why you want to give the Bloodline the win on night one is you want Roman to think he can't completely trust The Rock. And so much so that when The Rock lays the smackdown on Roman's candy ass and reveals the whole time that him and Cody have been just playing mind games with Roman, and he turns on Roman and costs Roman the match and leads to Cody being able to get the victory, and this whole time again, it was just for Roman to believe that The Rock, was acknowledging him, but at the same time, The Rock was also helping take everything away from Roman Reigns. Setting up for 1 year later for this match, Roman Reigns and The Rock, that does not need the title. It'll be Roman's 10th main event and the last main event Roman Reigns will ever need in his entire career. In my opinion, of course. And because of that, Cody Rhodes, and of course if Cody Rhodes loses though, he gets no more chances as long as Roman's champion. But this, you gotta do it here. You gotta do it here. Again, if they don't do it here, then the only reason why I think they may keep the belt on Roman is because he is very close to Hulk Hogan's record. But at this point, the title reign has run its course. We're no longer in that third inning as they claimed they were in last year. We are in the 9th inning. Heck, we may as well be in extra innings at this point. But this title reign has been great. It's been legendary. But it's run its course. It's time to move on. And it's time to let Cody Rhodes finish his story. So I think this will be Bloodline rules. There will be chaos. There will be equalizers. We could see Seth Rollins. I think we'll definitely see Jey Uso. Heck, we could even see Randy Orton maybe, for crying out loud. Again, he has history with Cody Rhodes, but he also, of course, has history with the Bloodline. We could see Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens, be out there. Again, John Cena and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Get some nostalgia in there as well. It is going to be crazy. So I think there will be a lot of chaos in this match. And it will be more about the moment Cody Rhodes taking down the Tribal Chief and being your new Universal Champion. The third title change that I am predicting to happen at WrestleMania 40. Now though, let's just say this. I wouldn't be surprised if they have Cody finish this story just to have another nightmare begin. It will not surprise me if they would, after the match, have Damian Priest cash in on Cody after the match. Because, Judgment Day could be losing. Well, I definitely think they're dropping the tag titles. I think that's going to happen. I know that there's a chance Rhea could drop the title, but I don't think it should happen. But obviously, Damian wants to make up for it. He's going to try to pull off something big and give the American Nightmare his next nightmare. I'd rather not have that happen, but I think there's a chance it could happen. Either way, though, Cody Rhodes is winning this main event, as he should. And Roman will go on vacation again for like 5 months. Whatever it says. And there we go, guys. There we go. We got through, and I hear some rumble in the thunder, so I guess we're not going to put them on the list, but I could have maybe possibly gotten home by now. Maybe. We'll see. But that does it, guys. And actually, before we check the live chat, I do have a couple Instagram messages from the one, the only, Robbie One Kenobi. Let's see what Robbie has to say. And if I get this open up here. Come on. go here. All right, 2 new messages. Let's play it.
Mikey! Yeah, Mikey. Is that all that you really acknowledge me for? Is some goofy little catchphrase? Something that I got from Bobby Lashley? Or the way you go out to acknowledge me as a genius because your hero Daniel Bryan did it? You know, I'm wearing a powder blue sports coat. You can't see it, but it's like, is that all I'm known for you? Is that all I'm good for? I mean, you know I do more. So I think you have to really ask yourself, why am I saying this to you? You know, like, am I just one-liners to you? Am I just little fantasy book? And not, you know what? You may just have to ask yourself, Mike. Ask yourself. In front of all those little live fans of yours, you may just have to ask yourself, why Rob?
I got cut off.
And when you ask yourself, why Robbie, why? Bro, it's a swerve, Mike. It's a swerve. You know I can never hate you, bro. It's me. I'm like Vince Russo, bro, with a swerve. Got you there with my little heel turn, didn't I?
Oh.
Or did I?
Uh-oh. Is Robbie Wood Kenobi about to turn heel on demand? Well, Robbie may just have to get ready for that Extreme Rules match. Just kidding. Robbie Wood Kenobi, as always, he's much more than a catchphrase. He's a great friend. He's definitely been a great supporter to the channel as well. Definitely brings out a lot of great humor. Gives everybody a lot of great laughs with his little slogans, his catchphrases, his nicknames, his little fantasies and whatnot. He's a great man, and I always make sure, of course, give him the shout outs and give his little messages he sends me appreciation. So Robbie, if you're watching, thank you, my friend, as always. But yeah, before we go off the air, because again, the storm is starting now. So again, you're lucky, weatherman. Although, could have I gotten home? I would still be at trivia by now. I got done at 10. But anyways, let's check the live chat before we go off the air here. I think we're at... got Chris saying, I'm going to be tired after WrestleMania 40 Night 1. At least it's split up into two nights, though, with this big of a card for sure, and giving all the matches the time for sure. I think Drew's going to win. Vince needs to Rio White Heat. I'm not sure what Tyler's saying there. Tyler's picking AJ to win. Chris is picking Bayley to win. Tyler says Roman needs to lose, yes. And he's also playing 2K24. It's so much fun to play than AEW Fight Forever. I mean, I enjoy Fight Forever because it's the only video game I have for wrestling, but, if they ever come out with it for the Switch, or if I somehow ever get the idea of getting like a PS5 or something, which I don't really feel the need to right now, then maybe I'll get 2K or whatnot. But, I'm still happy with my little, toys I got with them. But yeah, that's basically it, guys. Thank you again for joining me live again. I was not planning on going live tonight, as I usually am playing trivia on Tuesday nights. But again, they're calling for bad storms, and I have to get up a little earlier before work, go to a dentist appointment tomorrow morning. So, of course, I didn't want to, but it was probably best I stayed home in case if I got stuck out there in the storms. But hopefully I'll be back there next week. And, so again, as always, no Raw or SmackDown reviews this week. I will be taking a break from those, of course, because with it being the same week as like a pay-per-view, it usually gets kind of nuts. So that's why I take breaks from Raw and SmackDown reviews that week. I will, of course, again, I've listened to the CM Punk interview he did, I think it was yesterday. I want to listen to it again, but I will record a video and give my brief thoughts on that interview, because he did kind of like give his side of the story on things he's able to talk about during his time at AEW, and of course, him coming back to WWE. And I do also want to rewatch the Bray Wyatt documentary a second time also, and I do definitely want to do a review on that as well. Again, you also got a taste of the new graphics. This is kind of like the setup I'm looking at for pay-per-views or live reactions. That was a big lightning strike I just saw out there right now. That was a little scary. So, but yeah, I am going to do one live reaction for WrestleMania, and that is the tag match with Roman and Rock versus Cody and Seth. That will, of course, be a live reaction on Saturday. Live review probably maybe Monday for WrestleMania. We'll review both nights in one stream for sure. And yeah, just hopefully, again, I do still got to, again, when that stream happens, we will get the new intro, the new outro, and of course, if need be, the new Stay Tuned, just so you can see what that looks like. But I probably will do like a video where I do share all the new graphics in there. But I do still have to do a couple other like odds and ends ones. So I don't know if that'll make the cut. Like the Turn Alert graphics aren't done yet. But if I want to give myself a little more time on that, I would probably want to at least get those done before episode 300 of Turn Alert. But I get it done before then, I'll start using them then. But that, my baseball background for when I do my baseball news, I, of course, still got to change my sad intro. Jeez. Whenever I do the ones where I talk about the passing of someone famous, I got to change that. But that's going to be an easy fix. And then, of course, my draft shorts as well, for if they ever do another draft for WWE as well. So that's all I have left for new graphic-wise to make on my end. But till then, guys, yes, I'm going to check out here, guys. Again, if you are in the area, make sure you stay safe tonight from all the storms, of course, as well. Drive safe and get home safely. So, guys, again, what are your guys' thoughts on WrestleMania 40's preview? Again, to just quickly brush through my results. My final predictions I picked were Awesome Truth winning the tag titles. I think Bianca, Naomi, and Jade will win the 6-woman tag match. Gunther retains against Sammy. Jay beats Jimmy. Santos and Dominic beat Ray and Dragon Lee. Rhea Ripley retains over Becky Lynch. And the Bloodline win the tag match in the main event night 1. Night 2, Drew McIntyre wins the title. Logan Paul retains the U.S. title. The Final Testament win the Philadelphia Street Fight. LA Knight beats AJ Styles. Io Sky retains against Bayley. And then Cody Rhodes finishes the story against Roman Reigns. And again, if Damian Priest catches in at WrestleMania, I think he'll either do it to 1, lay down for Drew McIntyre, or 2, possibly lead Cody Rhodes from finishing a story into another nightmare. But again, that's neither here nor there. And of course, again, also, CM Punk will be on commentary for the World Heavyweight Championship match between Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. So guys, again, make sure to leave us down in the comments section below of your predictions for WrestleMania 40. And also be sure, also as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content to come on my channel. And follow me on Twitter as well at the Club of the Man 93. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. Again, all the stuff which is above my head right here, which you'll be seeing that the whole time in my other graphics for sure. And again, also guys, make sure you leave your thoughts down down below also about the new graphics as well. Again, you will be seeing more coming when we get to the WrestleMania review. So until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all later. Have a great rest of your night, and do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself, and that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!